Today I put it a sentence on the locker room, and I don't really like to expose some of our private moments, but I think it's important. And I wrote, to where flow our thoughts flows our energy. And then I commented all the same thoughts, the same direction as a team. And I think I have I'm not absolutely satisfied, of course, despite I'm happy. But I saw something that is important to have on football when things don't go the way technically you want to take them. I think the game was not technically a good game at all. But we saw a hell of a fight in terms of understanding what to do in every moment, especially during the second half, towards the direction that we had to go, that was the 3 points. That makes me happy. Of course, technically not the best game. I think after the first 15 minutes, where the game looked very easy because there were a lot of spaces we could penetrate and find connections, and I think the players took it as maybe it will be too easy. And in life, there's nothing that we have to take as granted. You have to go, and when you feel there's an opportunity, you have to increase the intensity, go for it, and fight as hard as you can. Obviously, that when we change players, the fluidity of the game is not the same. Obviously, when you play a game on the championship game between two legs of a Champions League qualifying round, it's also a little bit touching. So in the middle of all these, I think we have to be satisfied with objective accomplished, 3 points granted, some interesting things, some others that we have to analyze. The lesson from today is fight for what you want from the first minute with the highest intensity so that you can do it quickly. When you can't, fight until the last one, and we fought for until the last one. So I think that should be obviously praised. The support we received from our people also, and the happiness that I feel in the boys and the release in the end when we got the victory. Obviously important also to feel that energy.
This was Zuko Mdunelwa's first competitive game of football since being injured for Bafana in September. Just what did you make of his performance, and how much of a boost does it offer being able to call on a player of that caliber now when you get to a very serious stage of the season?
Yeah, we knew that it could be a little bit tricky to expose him to a 90-minute match after he got injured in national team, and I think it was, I spoke about that. Unfortunately, he had a muscular injury throughout this period that he was already being okay. So basically, he had a setback. And playing him today in a moment that Moreno is injured, and we had to handle a little bit, not risking nothing on Mudau, was obviously comfortable for us, but most of all comfortable for him, that shows him that we trust. I think he did well. Obviously, when you play systematically, you get a confidence that is different from the one when we go after so many months without playing official matches. Anyway, he made friendlies where he showed that he was on the level to play today. And I think that if we had made the first half collectively stronger, probably he could have done much better even. So I always say when the teams are very strong, everybody gets to the level. When teams show a little bit more sloppiness, obviously everybody takes that on the back. But quite satisfied and nothing. Look, the intentions of my players are not judgeable. And the way they do the things can be. It's not a matter of intention, it's a matter of connections, of energies. And we need to understand that these guys, I don't know if you had that, you made that mathematical calculation, but I think we played 9 matches throughout the last month. It is absolutely unbelievable in terms of demand that we have on the boys. And it's not easy to deal with such emotional moments with so many things to handle on hand. So, yeah, quite happy with him and some of the things we saw on the pitch. Yeah, the spirit, mostly the spirit up to the end.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Obviously, you're always looking to improve even after a victory. How are you concerned, and what would you say to someone like Reisinho? Bring him off at halftime. It just doesn't seem to be at the same pace as this. Sometimes coaches call it as like a tennis match in the PSL, and we can see the technical ability, his passing range, but just not at the same pace as the rest of the team.
Well, look, as I said, and he played orbit match. I think he played 90 minutes, he scored, and he made a hell of a match there. So he made a very good match there. So we felt completely comfortable to bring him on the match. I agree that today was not a good match from him, but I think that, as I was speaking before, the team didn't help no one. I don't know really who I can say that in the first half was really on the level inside the pitch. So I think everybody was a little bit distant from the level that they have to be. And when that happens, it touches everybody. And then I think we should not be too much penalizing on everybody. But for sure, I have to analyze who was on the level, and that is a work that is mostly done when I take the video and look the match and understand. I had mostly to give some balance to the team, and bringing a clear player as a 6, because neither Miguel, neither Marcelo are a 6. But as you understood in the beginning, we had Fawaz inverted in a 3-man build-up, having open in one side Zouk, in the other one Tashrik. But after 15 minutes, when I felt that we were a little bit sloppy, I decided to bring one more player inside. And when you expose a defense with just 2 players on the build-up, and you don't have a clear 6, and you have 2 players that don't have the routine to stay more positional, to balance the team, it becomes a little bit tricky in terms of exposing counterattacks. And I decided to take Miguel more for that, to have the capacity to have the team stabilized by the middle and being able to then provoke something more from the outside. Even because I knew that with a 1-1, today was a match to go with everything in terms of winning. And there would be a moment that I would take out one of the fullbacks to put a winger on and play just with 3 defenders, so in a structure. And as you saw, that happened when we brought inside Saleng and Ikram. We took out one fullback, and basically on the moment we would lose the ball, we would ask Teboho to enter as a centre back, Keegan playing on the right. So that's why today was a victory of a lot of mechanical engineering on the pitch in terms of managing players. And then as soon as we scored second goal, I brought again Grant exactly to reorganize the defense, stay more stable. Obviously then we lost the possibility of attacking through the right, because Keegan is not really a player that is comfortable on attacking. But I also didn't want both sides open, so I said, okay, let's not put no one on the right open, no problem. We come inside with Tashrik, especially then with Nuno, so that we have numbers inside and take the control of the game, mostly with the ball. That is something we can never lose, because if we lose the control of the games with the ball, then Sundowns doesn't know how to play football, because we are not a team that is used to play without ball, and we struggle in those moments, especially when we are emotionally on stress, like a 2-1 victory in a match like this that we need to win. And then obviously we look at the watch and there's 10 minutes to go, and the emotions come up. So my job on that moment is not to defend. I don't like to defend results, but balance the team to have ball, to play with the ball. Because I know if we have the ball in the right moments, we're going to arrive on the box, and we have players to finalize actions. And that's what happened basically when Teboho arrives from second wave and has a possibility to shot from the D line and finish the match. So basically that's what we did. But look, I speak here a lot with you that the job of a coach is giving them tools to help managing the moments. And today really was a tough one, trying to help the team permanently, because this team of Marumo is a good team. And as soon as they understand that we were a little bit sloppy, they increased the pressure. They brought challenges to us. And then was the moment it was a little bit exposed, the fact that the boys don't play so much together and a few dynamics are not so clear. But then in those moments you need to fight. You need to fight and show character, and that's what we did, and we did well. We did well. It's sometimes it's very important that teams win matches like this, with the knife on the throat, tough, fighting for every ball. So this gives the energy, gives the sense of we also can fight the right way. We also can be strong. We also can be committed, and the people need to understand that. it has been a long journey for these guys, and this month has been. Now we have the last chapter of this book to open after the international break. Another one, that is this match in Mali that we need to go and make it well, so that then we can think about the future and rest the boys. They need rest, 100%.
Good evening, Coach. Coach, talk about Teboho Mokoena, who comes on in the second half. And then for me, I personally think he was the difference in the second half. Just your word on him, particularly looking at the fact that he's one player always giving his all, whether it be he starts from the bench, he's played Kev, Bafana gets called up, he plays, he gives it all every time he's on the pitch.
Yeah, high-level players are like that. They know they have to perform all the time. And I think this season, Teboho had a moment that he was clearly tired. That came from the accumulation of fatigue, even from the previous one. And it was not an easy start from him. We spoke a lot about that. But when you have character, you come back. And we are speaking about players with character. We also understand these dynamics. And he came back in a good level. Look, it was predicted that Tebsa should play around 45 minutes or immediately. It was predicted because we could not give ourselves the luxury to have players that probably will be important on the weekend without playing, because tomorrow is day off for everybody. They don't train, and the following day we travel throughout all the day. So we just train on the third day after this match in the evening. So these boys could not stay, and as is clear, if he would not play today, it would be 4 days almost without training. And yesterday is -1, where you just make a small training session. So it would be a big period without playing. So we had it was predicted that he would have to play today. And just for you to see how true is what I'm saying, today in the morning there was a friendly match where Jaden, Aubrey, Mudau, and all the other boys, Pitsuf, Aubas, Mali, so all the other boys together with some of the Diski players or some of our youngsters that plays more systematically on Diski, they together made a friendly match. And they also played 45 minutes. So those boys also played 45 minutes, exactly with the same objective. So, but what we expect when we bring Teboho in the pitch is that he brings the right energy. That's what I also ask him. Take the leadership, take more leadership inside. That's what we ask Anatemba. When the team is in this moment, you need to manage the game, and you bring brains and football inside so that you can manage the game with the ball. That's clearly the intention on that moment, to try to settle down the team, calm the players, give them the comfort to know they have an anchor that can connect everybody, and you can give the ball, he will not lose it, he will play it, and the team will cool down. I think that's so that's why I say there were a lot of different intentions in the way we had to make the game. Not the way I would like to have taken the game up to the end, but what the game was asking, I had to give, and that's what I tried to help the boys, and the rest, or most of it, they did. Most of it, they did.
Coach, must get the power. It's 8 victories now in the league. The team is also in control. Obviously, you are saying anything can happen in Mali, but I'm sure that's not what you are hoping for. But what do you put it down to? Is it the team showing their experience despite the many games that you have to play, the lack of rest, playing under pressure because there's no room for mistakes? Would you say this is maybe the team showing their experience in this kind of situations? And also, there is I'm looking at what Saleh brings, and it's not necessarily a comparison, but it's what I want to understand what you want from your wingers, because Tash can go wide but doesn't really cross much, but likes to go in dribbles. Saleng rides the byline, tries to put in a cross. What are you expecting from your wide players, given their different profiles?
I expect my players to understand the music that is being playing and dance according to it. It means that despite I know the characteristics of the players, and I try always to put them as comfortable as possible, I also need to understand what the game is asking and manage it according to what the game is asking. For example, Tashrik is a player that can play in the pockets and very comfortable, especially if he's well related with the fullback on that side. But he's also a player that can play wide, left and right. He can. Where he expresses himself better, I think he expresses himself better more close to the goal, more inside. Because he's a player that makes very good runs on the space and he can create for the other one. So he can give, but he can invert with Aubrey very easily or with the Fawaz very easily. That are players that also understand the inside. Arthur, no. Arthur is for me clearly as a player that is more a player from the. He's like we usually say a 9.5 or something like that. So he's there in the middle between a striker and a winger. He's not very powerful in terms of. It looks like he's not very quick, but it's not easy to take the ball from him when he faces forward the game. He's a good passer. He can see. He can shoot. Nuno is a winger that has a more profile of a midfielder, but Nuno played a lot in his previous years as a winger outside. I like him as a 10 because of the vision that he can to drop according to the spaces and connect with the game with other players. Saleng is a player that we are discovering day by day and try to make him understand what we want also from him. He can play left and right. Obviously, different things come from left and right, but also and we didn't have a lot of training sessions with Saleng in terms of building him towards the direction of the team. So we are trying to profit from what he has that is natural rather than already having him under a collective training process. But this week, for example, I put him on the pocket on the right, and I got so excited. I said, wow, we have a guy that can also play in these spaces because he loves the game. He's so aggressive. He enjoys a lot playing football. Like a Kutluano. Kutluano can be a 10, can be a player outside, inside. So there are different things, and we may need to manage according to what. Because today Arthur is struggling with a small problem on a hernia. He has a hernia, so that doesn't allow him to be as. But he's trying to show character and be available for us. But sometimes we need to. You saw that there's a moment I called them both, him and Tashrik, and I said, guys, honestly, who is the one to come out first? And Artur said, I'm done. I need to protect myself. I feel that I can get injured seriously. And then I looked at Tashrik and I thought, my guy, you are finished your Ramadan and you have to hold it till the end. Or in that moment, I thought that he would have to hold it till the end and close the right side. But then as soon as I understood, okay, now we can probably sacrifice Nuno. And imagine Nuno played the last match in the Champions League so well, giving so much, and now he had to finish 90 minutes. But commitment, and Nuno he felt that he didn't make a very good game, and unfortunately he raised the hand on that ball. But he told me, Coach, today I could not give what I wanted, but I tried to fight for you and for the team, and that's it. So I think the boys did well. The boys did well in the conditions they faced today. Also, it's important that we're gonna have 1 month until we're gonna play. I don't know when is next home match. I don't know because the calendar is still. But also we need to recover not only the players but this pitch. This pitch is becoming worse and worse again. The last Champions League match was quite okay, but today appeared very bad. I think there was a rugby match after our Champions League match, and this pitch is catastrophic. Also doesn't help us to sustain the level of game we want, something that you know. But today we cannot complain. What we did not do had nothing to do with the pitch. Had to do with what we did was because we showed then character. So we were a little bit in both sides, but then we understood which direction we had to take the team, and that's why we got the victory. I missed something on your question.
The first one on the 8 straight wins, and then also in controlling the Champions League.
Look, the Champions League is an open game. I was just taking a look. Sporting Portugal lost 3-0 with Bodo Glimt away in the first leg of a Conference League, and was in the extra time was winning 4-0 home. I don't know if it finished already.
There's still up 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, 5 minutes to go for free in aggregate. So football shows us every day that there are stories that can be done and changes of games that can be done. I think Man City is waiting for a huge football night, so that in Manchester, so that they can turn around the game with Real Madrid. We cannot think things are done. They should be controlled by us. I agree with your expression. I think it should be controlled, but control is after the whistle will start. So Champions League is not a story that is written yet. Regarding the victories, yes, the victories are done. I think, unfortunately, the last defeat we had was exactly the match that Teboho was given a red card when we were smashing Siwelele away, looking for the second goal to win. Otherwise, probably we could be in a better series. But we need to be suspicious on every match. There's so many challenges ahead and so difficult matches. And we have to manage the level of the opponents. I think we'll have ahead of us Polokwane and then Durban City, imagine. So the level of the games will be very aggressive. I still don't know the final calendar. But I think those are the next fixtures on the championship. So a lot of challenges. But threats can come from any team if we don't take us to the 100%. 99 is not enough. 99 is not enough to win this championship. 99 is not enough. 100% will take us there. If we can be committed to 100%, we'll be closer. Let's see.
Take the last two questions.
Speaking of the league in particular, we're at the top. Sorry, my name is Khanisa Choko from News 24 Sport. Is it a comfortable position to be in, especially the fact that Sundowns are now tired of Pirates and it's pretty much now a grandstand race?
It's more comfortable than yesterday because yesterday Pirates was 1 point ahead. It's more comfortable than 2 days before because then we had a draw on points. But it's not really a comfortable place to be. If we feel it's comfortable, we're gonna step in false for sure. No, it's not comfortable. It's where it is. We need to fight for more. We need to fight, and of course, it's a more comfortable place to be towards this stop, this break. Feel that energy. Feel very positive. As I said in the beginning, where your thoughts flows your energy, so it's always better to be in this position. But a lot to do. If we think that whatever we did will speak for us, is wrong. What is going to speak for us is what we're going to do in the next match. For sure. So we need to focus on it. The Champions League one and then the PSL one and the following one. Because any other attitude rather than that one will make us step in false. And I don't want this team to step in false. So let's just live day by day. I told that to the boys at halftime today. What are you thinking about? Champions League matches? Come on. We don't know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. We don't know how we're going to wake up tomorrow. And if we don't do well today, how I'm going to look and you're going to look at me so to prepare the Champions League match. Now we are obviously winning today is a more comfortable place to prepare the Champions League match. But we need to look for that place every time so that we can prepare the following one with the best energy. And that's what we have to do. But don't take it for granted. Absolutely nothing is granted. For sure on the other side. You saw that today we had fans from Pirates cheering, trying to support here the team from. So we're going to fight everything and everywhere. It's normal. It's even beautiful. I said that South Africa is giving so many experiences that I had never lived. And this is another one. But it's normal and it's shows sports spirit from people that can. And this is also beautiful to live.
Coach, mine is just looking ahead at the Bafana team as well. How important has it been for you to always make sure that Sundowns players represent the national team, they get like game time so that the national team coach can also like choose them?
Absolutely. It's a good question. It's a very good question. And obviously when I'm preparing matches, I cannot think about who I'm gonna put to play because this guy can go national team or that one cannot. I cannot do those thoughts because who pays my salary is my club. So and the players are paid by the club. So we need first of all everybody to think about the club. And if the club does well, for sure national team players will increase the number on the Bafana and the level of that we give and we produce also will prepare them better for the national team. But it's not easy because obviously we understand there are players that are potential called-up players and others that are not. And when we make our choices, we don't take our thoughts out of that place. But we need to be fair. And being fair is discussed to the limit the options we do, is trying to work as hard as possible with the players, create the right mindset so that we can win games. Because if we win games, we are more close to put more players on the national team because it's always like that. And if we play well. And that's our thoughts. Help the players to play as best as possible, help the players to win as much as possible, show performance, and give headaches to Coach Hugo, for sure. That's our job. But it's not comfortable for me to understand that sometimes there are players that if they had more time, they could probably have more chances. But if I don't do if me and the players we don't do the job, the club will also not be happy with us. And that's basically the first person that we have to, or the first entity that we have to respect is our club, our board, our chairman, our sports direction, and ourselves towards performances here. That's obviously the first thought. But I have that in mind. Yeah, I have that in mind indeed. And sometimes I sleep with headaches because I cannot please everybody. I confess, I feel sorry for that. I really feel sorry for that.
All right, thank you, Coach. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.